Hello there and a very warm welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Molly Gambhir. This hour we take a closer look at Tamil Nadu in southern India, which continues to grapple with political uncertainty. Well, there has been no headway in the merger talks between the two warring factions of the AIADMK in Tamil Nadu, with the ouster of VK Sasikala's family remaining the sticking point. Now let's take a look at where things stand as we speak. The latest that's coming in, the OPS camp wants Sasikala's family's ouster, wants a CBI probe into former Chief Minister Jayalalitha's death. These demands, the OPS camp maintains and reiterates, are preconditions for any talks to happen with the EPS camp. Also maintaining that the Edappadi Palaniswamy faction has not been speaking in a single voice. There are different versions the OPS camp maintains that are coming in from the other side. Where does the EPS camp stand at this point? It maintains that it cannot agree to these two basic demands coming in from the OPS camp, which, according to that camp, are preconditions for any talks. The EPS camp maintains they are ready for merger talks, but let's first talk and then discuss the demands. On the other hand, the Opanese Selvam camp remains resolute that the two demands that they have put forth will be preconditions for any talks to take place regarding a merger between the two warring factions. Now, in the latest that's also coming in, sources telling WION that the AIADMK merger talks may have hit a roadblock after the Opanese Selvam faction refuses to budge on their demand for removal of Sasikala and her family. The EPS and OPS factions of Tamil Nadu's AIADMK were due to begin official talks for a merger today, but now sources telling WION that the talks might be put on hold until the conditions are met. While Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy's group will be headed by Rajya Sabha MP R. Vethilingam, the Opanese Selvam camp has named senior leader KP Munusamy as the head of a 7-member committee. Remember, the merger talks had hit a roadblock last week as well. The Opanese Selvam faction has been demanding the ouster of Sasikala's family from the party and also a CBI probe into the death of former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha. We will open this up for discussion. Joining us at this point is Chandra Mohan, social and political activist. Joining us at this point, thank you very much for speaking with us. Your thoughts on what's happening in the state of Tamil Nadu? We all knew that a merger after that divorce would not be easy, but do you see either side relenting at this point?
Well, I mean, it is a political game, and both sides want to have the upper hand. Opanese Selvam, it is, in fact, everybody in Tamil Nadu, pretty much everybody knows that he is doing all this, he has the strength because of the backing of the central government. And so he can definitely pull in the strings that he wants to pull. And that is why he's so specific about removing both Sasikala and Dinakaran, and not just them. Their entire clan, the Mannargudi clan, has to be removed from the party, is what his stand is. In fact, they have asked for almost 30 members of the Sasikala family to be expelled from the party immediately, without which they don't want to go into the merger talks. It's not just about Dinakaran and Sasikala, because it is a large network, as you know, that is ruling the state of Tamil Nadu. And so keeping them aside is not that easy for Edappadi. Because the problem with the Edappadi's faction is that they are more worried about the IT raids that the BJP government can throw on them in the interest of survival. It's all about self-preservation is what it is. All this, Chinnamma and, Dinakaran and all the loyalty just vanishes. Realize that, now we need to toe the line. We need to take a different stand now. Right. Otherwise, all the corruption cases against us might come into light. So, as a neutral observer for me, right now, Tamil Nadu, as you might know, are going through the worst, agrarian crisis in more than 140 years, the worst drought that we are going through.
Yes.
So, for us, it is a very, very terrible time that we have a non-functioning government.
Yes.
And we desperately want a chief minister. We desperately want the MLAs to do their work, the ministers to do their work. But unfortunately, both the opposition party and the current government
Yes.
are not doing their job. So it's all about politics. It's all about who gets the power. And so at the end of the day, it's we, the people, who get to suffer.
All right,
And,
request you to just hold that thought there. Let me also get in Mr. Balasubramanian, who's now joining us on the broadcast, apart from our correspondent in Chennai, Revathi Rajivan, who's also joining us for more on this. First to you, Balasubramanian, we've talked about how either side has maintained their stance, refuses to relent. But according to you, and as Chandramohan just pointed out, the worst drought crisis, do you see governance in the state being the worst casualty when it comes to this political uncertainty?
See, if there was election in the next 3 months, this talks on merger would have been done in a whisker.
Yes.
There's nothing going to happen in the next few months. So they don't really mind to, keep this elastic mode on for a very long time. The worst thing is, the administration is not actually functioning. And the worst thing which is going to happen from tomorrow is, there's an indefinite strike by 64 departments in the government of Tamil Nadu, which are going on an indefinite strike from tomorrow. They have a 10+ demands to be, put in place, which has to be met. So one side, the government is not going to function. Another side, the government officials who are actually there in the government offices are not going to function. Look at what's the kind of scenario we are in for. Absolutely, nothing is going to function. See, the worst case is, they're more eager to find out what exactly they can hold on at this point in time. It is egos that are getting played here. The egos are actually getting played between both these factions. It is not going to help them in the long run at all. They are forgetting one fact, that in a couple of months down the line, the local body elections also are going to happen.
Yes.
And this is going to hurt them very badly, which is naturally going to give an absolute advantage to DMK. They're forgetting that and actually doing this.
Right, and at the end of the day, it is a power tussle also for the chief ministerial position. Let's not forget that the OPS camp has been in very strong terms talking about how Edappadi Palaniswamy should be replaced. Of course, O. Paneerselvam was the chief minister earlier before Edappadi Palaniswamy was brought in by Sasikala. Requesting both our guests to please stay on with us. Revathi Rajivan, let me get you in on this. Any indication of whether either side will relent here, because we are looking at both factions remaining extremely resolute, and either camp is refusing to really let the other speak when it comes to the possibility of a merger?
Well, Molly, the possibility of a merger has at a roadblock as of the developments of today. When we look at it, when we look at the statements that was made by both the camps. Now, remember, you were talking about power, and that is exactly one reason, one of those many hurdles that is in between the merger of these two factions. Remember, the EPS faction has power. They have the government, they have the cabinet ministers and the chief minister position, but they do not have that. They fear that the image that T.T. Vidyanathan and V.K. Shashikala has created at the moment is not going to do them any good in future. Now, Shashikala is in jail and T.T. Vidyanathan is facing bribery charges. So, technically, both the leaders of their faction who are to lead them are away from the party. So, they do not have somebody to actually direct them at the moment. And on the other side, even though OPS faction does not have the numbers to present it before the crowd, they do have a clear advantage there. The other side wanting to initiate talks, wanting to merge with the OPS faction, so that once a merger takes place, they can retrieve the two-leaf symbol, and going forward, it would be good for the party. That is the only option for the EPS faction that they see. But under what cost do they go ahead with this merger? Do they go ahead with this merger for the sake of their future, but stand to lose the positions that they are holding at the moment? Is a reason for hesitation that at the moment, because we're seeing that we saw that a committee was formed in both the factions last week, and it was expected that merger talks would begin today, but with the statements that came in, again it is going slow, and the EPS camp has very clearly stated that none of the demands can be met before talks. Once the discussion begins, we can talk about the demands as well as power and positions and whatever be it, but OPS faction reluctant, saying that their two demands are non-negotiable, and that would be the first thing that the other camp must meet to even begin talks. So that is where it has hit a roadblock. So what should we give up for this merger to happen is a huge question before the EPS faction at the moment.
Let me take that across straight to Chandra Mohan. Who, at the end of the day, do you think is benefiting from this merger? Is it either faction? Is it the state overall? Chandra Mohan, also, is it not the claim to the chief ministerial chair, which at the end of the day is the sticking point here?
No, I don't think OPS is eyeing for the chief minister chair.
Okay.
But the question that you asked about who benefits from all these things, unfortunately, whether it is the ADMK or DMK, the state of Tamil Nadu suffers. You know, we don't benefit.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. This whole thing is about power and money. You know, politics is about power and money, and Tamil Nadu is one of the worst corrupt states in the country, which is very sad to say, but it has to be admitted. And right now, at least what we are hoping for, as you know, common citizens, is like, you know, stop the bickering, stop the power politics, get together, and start doing some work. You know, we want progress. We didn't elect you to do all these things, but unfortunately, we are the ones who elected them, knowing who they are. You know, so it is us to be blamed. But the fact is, right now, if a merger happens, well and good. At least start the work right now.
Yes.
But right now, they're not going to do that. They will make sure that their survival is a long-standing one. Because if, let's say, OPS comes into the merger, and they don't take away all the factions of Sashikala and Dinakaran from the party out, and they do get the two-leaf symbol, and then they expel this camp from the party, then what do? I think OPS is very wary about the fact that this can happen, you know, because almost 60 MLAs were given seats by Dinakaran and Sashikala in the party. So their loyalty will always be there with them.
Right.
But then again, so it will be like a Trojan horse situation right now.
Mr. Balasubramanian, if I can come to you on this, why a precondition from the OPS camp? Why not just go ahead with the talks? And according to you, what's the latest that you are picking up from either camp? Any possibility still that remains for a merger?
One thing that I don't understand personally is what's the animosity between two people who know each other.
Yes.
EPS is not a person who's from the opposition party. He's from the same old party. You know, like they were good friends at one point in time. What is this animosity suddenly? You know, like why can't you know, these people break all these jinx? You know, like having a committee formed with 7 people and all that. Why can't they have a, you know, like a table put and across the table we can actually talk this out and solve this? That's number one. You know, what makes them actually not stops in doing this? Absolutely right, this is ego. Absolute ego which is playing very high with these two people. They actually want power. Mr. Chandra Mohan is absolutely right. People who are actually talking here are the people who actually voted them. But we voted them when Jayalalitha was in power, literally. And Jayalalitha was alive. But at this point in time, if an election happens, these people will definitely fail miserably. You see, this is power politics, that is true. But at the cost of what is the billion-dollar question to be answered by these same old MLAs and MPs who are sitting and trying to find out a way in which they can still hold their power.
Right, and let's not forget that Dinakaran in the first place was ousted by J. Jayalalitha and of course was then later brought in by Sasikala. Chandra Mohan, if I can quickly come to you on the arguments that the EPS camp has for these preconditions. One being that Sasikala's role in the party is being looked at by the EC. The matter is pending, of course, and it cannot order a probe into Jaya's death unless the Supreme Court orders it to do so. Are these fair arguments?
The death of a chief minister, and as a current chief minister, he has every right to order an inquiry. You know, but I'll tell you what, though. You know, whatever be the case, whatever the mystery that shrouds Jayalalitha, I guarantee you it will never come out. Right now, I can guarantee it will never come out. Simply because, number one, it's not like OPS was completely oblivious to what was going on. Okay. Number two, of course, Sashikala, you know, whatever they did, we don't know yet. Whatever it is happened in the background, we don't know yet. So there is a main caveat in that is that Delhi the central government sent AIIMS doctors to Chennai to monitor what is going on.
Right.
So still now, the central government maintains, the AIIMS doctor and everybody maintains that whatever has happened is the fact. They didn't give anything contrary. They didn't talk about whether Jayalalitha died many months back or, you know, few days back, few weeks back, nothing.
Right.
Everything remains the same. So if there is any kind of discrepancy in Jayalalitha's death, Now the automatic question will also be asked to the central government, to Modi, as to what did he do? Was he not appraised about the situation? Didn't the AIMS doctor see Jayalalitha?
Right.
These kind of questions will come out. So there will be a political upheaval, and it will be like opening a Pandora box. So I know for sure there is no way they're going to bring out the truth about Jayalalitha's death. All this ordering for inquiry and all those things is OPS drama that he puts in front of the people. That's it, nothing else.
All right,
it's just
completely running out of time. Completely running out of time here, but certainly those are some of the questions that remain unanswered. Hopefully, for the sake of the state of Tamil Nadu and for its sake of governance, some clarity will emerge over the next few hours or days when it comes to this political uncertainty. Let's leave it there for the moment. Thanking all our guests and Revati Rajivan for joining us on this special broadcast.